Hello, I'm Billy Hough, and this is Things You Should Know. Today, we're doing a very special version. It's your quarantine reading list, as according to William S. Burroughs. William S. Burroughs was one of the original beatniks. There were three of them, right? Kerouac, Ginsberg, and Burroughs. They were actually roommates for a period of time. Though Burroughs was somewhat older, Ginsberg would write Howl, Kerouac would write On the Road, and Burroughs would eventually write Naked Lunch. And they're considered kind of the holy triumvirate. Burroughs' first book was a book called Junkie, an account of, being an actual junkie, and he then wrote the book Queer. Junkie was published at the time by Ginsberg, who was serving as his literary agent. Queer wasn't published until the 80s. And then Burroughs wrote Naked Lunch, first published in Big Table magazine, and then finally coming out. Naked Lunch is basically a deconstructed detective novel, which would have been the genre in vogue at the time. Burroughs' genius was his way of turning the land of the high junkie into a different country altogether. The Interzone, which was also partially based on Morocco, where he has lived for a while, going there to find Paul Bowles, who had written The Sheltering Sky, who's another important precursor to the Beat movement. Naked Lunch is a wonderful novel, but it's really hard, and then he gets harder. The Soft Machine, Nova Express, and The Ticket That Exploded were a trilogy of books he did after working on something called the cut-up method with Brian Geisen. And what that basically meant was you would take a page of things you had written, a page from the newspaper, and a page from the Holy Bible, cut them all into strips, and then assemble them at random. Burroughs thought that the word was a virus, and if Orwell was able to really hit it on the head in terms of propaganda in 1984, Burroughs completely explores the concept of language as a virus. And at this period of time, he thought that cut-ups were a type of magic, and that only by breaking the tyranny of the language were we able to let the truth actually come through. After that, he turned back to novel writing with The Wild Boys, which I often tell people to start with, as it is the most lucid of his books up to that point, though it is still cut-ups. But at this point, Burroughs, much like he is in Soft Machine and Nova Express, is talking about a government takeover. You're always a spy. You're always an undercover agent. The trilogy at the end of his career, after the inspiration and guidance of James Grauholtz, who is a hero of mine as well, starts with The Cities of the Red Night. And this is basically a deconstructed children's adventure book, which Wild Boys is too, but this goes even farther. This is like a group of pirates, and there's a virus loose in the world. Burroughs stuff at its best is kind of a combination of great philosophy, hysterical writing, gay porn, and science fiction. I always tell people to start here because it's one of the most lucid of them all, and then to move your way through the rest of the trilogy. It's also really good to check out David Cronenberg's film Naked Lunch to give yourself an idea of it, and that's it. Get the hell on the records.